Welcome back to M&A Access. I'm your host, Jordan Wendelken, and this is day 2 at AM&AA Winter Conference in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm joined by Justin Smith with LongWater Opportunities. He's the Director of Business Development. How are you?
Doing great.
Thanks for joining us today. It's been an action-packed conference so far, back-to-back meetings, deals being done. How has your conference been so far?
Productive.
Good.
Yeah,
How many meetings have you had?
About a dozen.
About a dozen.
Formal,
Nice.
and then maybe a dozen more after hours, kind of informal.
Great. So tell me about the company that you're representing.
Yeah, so LongWater Opportunities is a 14-year-old private equity firm with offices in Dallas, Texas, and Fargo, North Dakota. We invest in lower middle market, family-owned manufacturing and industrials businesses. I've been doing that since 2009, and it's been a good run.
Good old American hard-working businesses, it sounds like. The manufacturing side of things does get quite interesting. Let's first, before we go into that, SMU Mustang here, yeah, and UT.
Both, that's right.
Those are the two top ones right there, so I like it.
Yeah, except for in football. Maybe
Right. Of course. I'm a Baylor guy, so it's like football's always been a touchy subject for us. So
yeah,
we totally get it. But hook 'em horns and cowboy up, I guess. Is that how it is?
Pony up.
Pony up.
Yeah.
That's right. Excellent. So you're in funding American manufacturing, leveraging technology. Let's go into a little bit more. You said 14 years, right?
Yeah, founded in 2009 in Dallas by two Midwesterners. One was based from Kansas City originally. The
Okay.
other's a Fargo native who lives there and manages a team that we have there in Fargo. And both come from family-owned business backgrounds. Brooks in Fargo comes from a third-generation agricultural family. And Jordan was actually the CEO of our first business that LongWater bought back in 2009, which was a circuit board manufacturer. So unique ability to relate to family-owned business owners and all the trials and tribulations they go to in looking to build a business.
Well, what better way than to fund businesses and to help them to, again, leverage not only technology but various skill sets. When you've done it yourself, it certainly gives you a better aspect and foundation to helping others.
Absolutely.
So like you had said, one of the founders was the CEO of a manufacturing company, is that correct?
Both have been,
yeah.
Yes. Jordan ran our first portfolio company, which is a company called Circuitronics based in Irving, outside of Dallas.
Okay.
A lot of experience, grew that business. And then Brooks comes from a third-generation agricultural business in the North Dakota area. Ran that business, inherited it from his family, ran it for several years, and then joined LongWater full-time ever since. So both have that unique experience of the family-owned business dynamic.
Sure. And so after college, you've got 13 years of experience in this. So let's talk about some of that.
Yeah, so after grad school in Dallas, spent 10 years in Houston doing largely energy M&A.
Okay.
The bulk of which was with a small private equity firm called Atomic Capital.
So you've been in M&A for a long time. I mean, it seems like that's not everyone's like starting point, and then they've just, you're a young guy, so most people get into M&A having, gone through some type of acquisition, some type of merger, and then they either get the itch or they just learn things that they realize there's just not a lot of information out there. Because at the end of the day, yes, it represents a huge majority of business and the economy, but at the same time, everybody kind of knows each other. I mean, it's a small niche market, but a massive one.
Totally agree. Yeah, I didn't get my start till I was about 29 in the M&A world. So got kind of a late start relative to most folks in the industry. But it's been a good run. And if you're with a good team, that's what matters most.
Right.
Have the right values and the right approach to the market and interacting with these family-owned businesses, trying to grow them.
So what was one of your first M&A deals?
The first deal, after I joined the firm, we bought a shipping container business called Excalibur Container, based in West Texas. And they modify, repurpose shipping containers to be sold as tiny homes, cabins,
cool.
Mobile medical facilities.
That's what I love about M&A is that it's not like you're locked into one thing, right? It's you get to play around in a lot of different industries. Now I know that you guys specialize in manufacturing, but manufacturing in itself is a wide array of different types of businesses, right? So you're just talking about manufacturing shipping containers into tiny homes. Super cool. I love that. The people, that you get to interact with. Manufacturing, I find that they're really good at their trade, but they're usually so focused on that trade that they're lacking like IT and so on and so forth. So talk about that company a little bit, about how you guys went in and helped develop that company.
Yeah, so Excalibur is emblematic of a lot of businesses we acquire and work with, which is that they have a great business model, a great sales story, a good team, but they need operational transformation to really grow and expand and reach their potential. So they have the sales, the organization around that, and just the systems that need to be in place to scale that operation weren't there. That's often the case with most of these lower middle market businesses.
So why can't they just go and hire some chief operating officer and get the same results?
They can. A lot of times they need the capital to do that.
Exactly. Exactly.
And a network of operating executives
Yes.
that a firm like LongWater would have.
Right. Like, do they want to spend the next, 24 months, figuring out if that person, is up to snuff or whether or not they have to hire somebody else? I mean, it takes, I always say, in the marketing world, anybody new into a company, they can't really make a huge impact until 10 months in or so. The first 3 months is just really getting a quality idea and understanding, developing a strategy, and then so on and so forth. And with investments, you're invested, so you're in the game. You're fully invested, so that you already know that you're going to be in there for a long period of time. So you have that opportunity to make those changes. So you after your first experience there with that, let's talk about afterwards.
Yeah, so that was the first platform investment in our third fund. And the second was done just last fall, and that was the acquisition of a bathtub manufacturer in the Oklahoma City area called Jetacorp. Great business, great management team, and they manufacture acrylic bathtubs and related bathroom products. So that's another business that we're going in. I would stress that we're looking to build on what they're already doing that's worked.
Yeah.
So we're not one of those private equity companies that comes in, hands you a piece of paper and say, here's the new way we're doing things, buddy. It's let's take what you've done that's worked, let's build on that.
Yeah.
So that was the model with Excalibur, as with Jetta, expanding on what's working, implementing some more sophisticated operating systems, and then trying to scale the business.
Yeah, and a lot of these manufacturing companies, like the CEO, the president, they're business savvy. We're not saying that by any means that they're not savvy at all. And they read, they understand, they're educated on businesses past and histories past that shows that, investment companies have come in and pushed their agenda, and then everything goes, astray, and it's blamed on the CEO and president. But that's not really happening anymore. That might have been a .com thing that happened, in the 80s. But what I'm starting to see now, especially after COVID, is that all that funding has started to pool up. A lot of the banks have pulled back, but the investment firms have really pulled up, and they're making strategic purchases and using that money and leveraging to have longer term relationships and partnerships. So do you find that that's true for you guys as well?
I do, yeah. The debt markets have been pretty tricky over the last few months, even into today. So it requires more diligence on the front end for firms like ours, as well as the back end trying to get deals over the finish line. So that's been a challenge, but there still are good businesses out there that can get the capital they need to be acquired and grow.
Well, let's talk about that. So businesses that spark your interest. Okay, we already got it. Manufacturing, you guys have a lot of experience. Let's, you want to stay in that lane because that's where you guys specialize in. What do you typically see when a new company kind of comes into light for you guys, whether or not you sought them out or you found them at an AM&AA conference through a third party, or they contacted you? What is kind of some key characteristics that you seem to find there that they've hit a point where they aren't seeing new revenue coming in, or they're just kind of leveled off? What do you typically see? They're missing pieces in the tech side, or their web presence is low. What do you normally notice?
Yeah. So in an ideal situation, we'll be approached or be introduced to a business that is growing and is doing well, but wants more sophistication and capital to further that growth and scale. It'll be a founder with a decent team that doesn't want to take all their chips off the table and cash out, but wants to stay in, build that business, and partner with a firm like ours to grow and scale into new markets and new products.
Yeah, somebody that's not just looking to sell. That you because you need them, right? They're the ones with the experience and the wherewithal to have pulled off what they did to begin with, right?
Yeah, and so the culture is key. We want a culture of hungry, growth-oriented folks that know what they're good at and know what they need help with. We would partner with a group like that and be aligned on day one on how do we implement the things you need to grow and continue to do the things you're doing well, that at a more accelerated level, touching more end markets, obviously getting more customers as well.
What type of expansion have you seen with your experience with the current with the company that you're at, taking on a new investment and really seeing it kind of blossom?
It's a great question. So I've only been with the firm 18 months.
Okay.
And so I haven't gotten to see the full life cycle of those businesses, but you take a business like Circuitronics, which is the first business that LongWater acquired. Went through 2 add-on acquisitions, revamped the production line, scaled into new markets, all with Jordan at the helm, and then ultimately had a successful exit. When that business was first purchased, there was a lot of wood to chop to get it to that role.
Sure.
So it's a combination of, like I said before, operational transformation, improving production lines, developing sales and marketing processes, and then add-on acquisitions, making smart, targeted acquisitions to either grow into new markets or vertically integrate.
That's awesome. And I think a lot of that is helpful to the community because as they're watching, as they're starting to meet a lot of individuals such as yourself, they see themselves as being, that all sounds interesting, right? And that looks like something that I would like to start, positioning myself is investment or potential exit, so on and so forth. So they're looking at this and saying, where's my next step? So what would be a next step other than, of course, networking? Because, sure, they can go online and start saying, how do I sell my business? Or they could, reach out to you. What does usually that process look like?
For a business owner? Yeah, if they decide they need a capital partner, then definitely call us up and we should have a conversation. It can be pretty informal. We're a laid-back group. And just talk about what the business has done, what they like about it, and where they want to see that go. And again, just a casual conversation. These processes can take time. We're not in any hurry. And we'd like to get to know the business owners, get to know the business, the culture of the firm, and their plans for growth.
What businesses and their revenue do you kind of try to stay within?
So the average business for us is doing between 10 and say 60 million of revenue, and then they would be doing 3 to maybe 10 million of cash flow.
Got it.
Manufacturing, industrials, maybe some value-added distribution. More or less, if you can drop it on your foot, it's a business we'd like to take a look at.
Excellent. And as your role, Director of Business Development, I imagine it's what we see here. You're coming to the conferences, you're networking. Typically, what are you try to get meetings with? Who are the middle market individuals you're trying to meet with?
So a lot of sell-side intermediaries, business brokers, investment bankers are great folks to meet with and network with. Business owners, if they're around, we'd love to learn about their business, about their backgrounds. And then the capital providers on the debt side are great folks to talk to. So whether it's mezzanine debt or senior lenders, getting a read on where they are in the market, how debt's being priced, and how underwriting trends are going.
Sure. Excellent. Well, we appreciate you coming, Justin. Again, how can people reach out to you?
Justin at LW Ops. You can reach me or direct. I'm sure you guys will provide my contact information, but definitely feel free to reach out if you want to talk about how we may grow your business or partner with you here at LongWater.
Excellent. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining us. And that's M&A Access, again, live at the Winter Conference, AM&AA in St. Petersburg, Florida. Thanks for joining us on M&A Access. If you enjoyed what you just watched, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more content just like that.